Hello everybody, it is Sarah, and today we will be talking about how badly I failed at Cramathon. For those of you who don't know, last weekend, which was Friday the 10th to Monday the 13th, was a readathon called Cramathon. It was started by Whitney over at Witty Novels, I think. I always get her name wrong. But she does one every 6 months, I believe it is. This was the summer Cramathon, and the purpose of it is to get as many short books off your TBR as possible in this 4-day period. I decided to join in because I have a ton of small books on my TBR, but I didn't do so good. I'm thinking I had 7 books on my TBR for Cramathon, and I might have maybe only read 3. So, no more readathons for me, I'm thinking. I do, however, have a excuse, so I don't feel so bad, but I still probably should. Me and my husband went on vacation this week up to Tobermory, which is a beautiful mystical place if you've never been there in Ontario, and I was just doing stuff, and I didn't really feel like reading. And the day before, I was packing. So all my reading got done in the Friday-Saturday period, basically, and then Sunday and the rest of the week up until Wednesday was pretty much a write-off for me as far as reading went. So I didn't really get anything done except 3 books. So the 3 books I did read covered 2 different challenges and then just a random book. The first challenge in this readathon was to read a children's book, and for this I picked Lemony Snicket's Who Could That Be at This Hour? This is the first book in his latest series. It's kind of a mystery kind of book. It follows a young man who is part of this kind of spy agency type of thing. He's 13, I believe, maybe 12, and he's sent out to this mysterious little place to solve this mystery, and he ends up getting tangled in this big, huge mystery that he never really anticipated. So it's really good. I read it in just a few hours. I mean, it's classic Lemony Snicket, and I will definitely read the rest of these books because it is a lot more than I was expecting. I was kind of expecting just like another series of unfortunate events, but it has enough distinction from the series of unfortunate events to be a really good series on its own that doesn't even really remind me that much of the series of unfortunate events, which I really liked. So I'll definitely be going on and reading the rest of the series. It is middle grade, I believe, and yeah, I really liked it. I would highly recommend it if series of unfortunate events was like the highlight of your childhood like it was for me. The next challenge was to read a graphic novel, and for this I chose Gotham City Sirens, Volume 3, Strange Fruit. It follows a storyline when Hush, who is a Batman villain, kind of kills Catwoman. I think he like steals her heart, as far as I remember, and like to get revenge on him. Catwoman lives, by the way. To get revenge on him, steals his fortune or something. Anyways, it ends up that Poison Ivy, Harley Quinn, and Catwoman all end up living in this big house, fighting crime together, getting into shenanigans together. And I'm just like a big fan of really Poison Ivy, but the rest of the Gotham City Sirens are pretty cool too. I mean, the art in these are absolutely beautiful, just like the rest of pretty much anything written about Gotham has beautiful art, guaranteed. You can pick up anything basically by DC and it will be absolutely beautiful art. Yeah, it was an interesting read. I read the rest of them quite a while ago, so it was good to catch up on the Gotham City Sirens, and I would highly recommend this kind of series of Gotham if you like Gotham. I don't know. I'm a big Batman fan, so I'll read anything that has to do with Gotham City. Yeah, that's a good one. Lastly, the third book I got around to reading for Cramathon was The Word for World is Forest. It's my first Le Guin book. I decided to pick her up because she was a big part of Philip K. Dick's writing process. He really loved her, and she was a really big influence on him, and because I love Philip K. Dick, I figured I would love her. And I don't know, not so much. I like the stories she writes about. I don't really like her writing style as much. The word for world is forest is about, it's in the future, and Terra, or Earth, has run out of wood completely. It's basically just a concrete jungle, you know, from pole to pole now. So Earthlings have to go to other planets to seek natural resources, and they happen upon this planet which is entirely forest. So they colonize it and they start to cut down the trees, but there is a native species there that is kind of like an offshoot of humans, and when the humans interact with them, they think of them as just animals. They're described often as like rats. They're used as servants. Their women are raped. Their men are abused. They're used as slaves for the humans' woodworking colonization process. And then it gets kind of interesting because you realize that these native species are nothing like rats. They are pretty much on par with human intellect. They just have different ways of looking at things and different ways of living, but they are very, very intellectual, and that causes problems because the humans are using them as slaves. And I really love this book because it got pretty real. Got pretty real about, you know, how maybe like Europeans did this on the earth before, and it was a fictionalized version of what has already happened in history, and that was just really real. And you're reading it, you're like, oh my god, how could they do this to this native species? It's their home, they belong there. And then you think about it for a quick sec, and you think that it's happened a lot on Earth already, and that clicks, and then you just want to vomit through the whole book because you're like, oh my god, humans are horrible and I hate myself. And it's a pretty dramatic read. I really liked it. The only thing I don't like about her writing is, one, there's like a billion characters. Like, first like 50 pages, there's like 50 characters introduced, and she has like 3 names for each of them, and like some of them have really weird names. Like the one guy's name is Okay. So like you're just reading and she starts a sentence with like okay, and then you don't know if it's about the character or if she's using the word okay. And then there's another one called Or, like O-R, and it just gets confusing up in there, and I didn't really like that too much. And her style of writing isn't as tight as other science fiction writers. I find it's a little bit sloppy and loosey-goosey. So that's really all I didn't like about this novel, but the content is on point, and it's just a very, very, very down-to-earth, way too real read. Even though it is science fiction, it is beautiful, and I would highly recommend it. So, my wonderful people, that's all I read for Cramathon. If you didn't make a video about it, tell me down below what you read for Cramathon, whether you did good or not for it, and just in general what you think about readathons, because this was my first readathon ever, and I was so pumped, and I'm like, I'm gonna kill this. I'm gonna read like 7 books in 4 days. I'm gonna get it done, and nope, absolutely did not do that one bit at all. And I'm okay with it. I mean, I'll get around to reading them eventually. But I think for now, I'm just gonna like put the readathons aside and out of my mind and not think about them and not participate in them. But if you have other opinions about readathons than me, let me know about them in the comments. As always, you can talk to me on Twitter, Goodreads, Tumblr, and down below, of course. And as always, thank you for liking and commenting and subscribing, if you please. That always brings joy to my heart. I've been gone for the last week, so I will try and go and watch everyone's videos and comment on all of them and see what you guys have been up to for Cramathon and the rest of the week. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and I will see you in the next one. I hope you have a great weekend.